All right, and we're back. This is episode 150 of the Taproom podcast, and I'm your host, Mike. Holy cannolis, Batman, we made it to 150. Yeah, crazy stuff. Before I get into all that, though, this episode is with Cody Gagnon from Michi Brew Co out in San Marcos. Man, that was such a cool vibe in that place and such great beer. But it was just honestly just really cool hearing his story and him honestly like being a journeyman in the industry. And like, I'll share a little bit because I don't want to spoil anything, but it was just really cool. Like, he was working at a particular brewery and, but he would ask, different questions, but he was asking more on the business side. And, and like one of his bosses at that time just saw that in him and was just like, man, you need to open up your own spot. And I just think that's really cool. Like, being able to have that kind of support system and, having, that's what I love about this industry. So, yeah, man, Cody, thank you so much, man, for letting me go down there, have a couple beers with you and hear your story. I'm truly grateful. I am. And yeah, I'm looking forward to you guys listening to the episode. It's going to be great. But I did want to, because normally on every 25th episode, we do the thank you episode. But I'm going to push that back a little bit because, I'm a little backed up on episodes and I don't want to make anybody wait. So that one I think will be like around 155-ish. I want to say it'll either be 153, no, maybe 154, 155, something like that. Because I think I have another 3 episodes in the can right now. So yeah, that'll probably be around that time. But that's going to be the Taps and Tailgates episode. But obviously before all that, I just wanted to, it's crazy to think going back to even just episode 1 with Mike from Unsung. And like, I was listening to it the other day just to kind of, reminisce a little bit. And I can just kind of talk about it a little bit too. But going back to episode 1, like it was just so different. Obviously the mics are different. The audio quality wasn't as great, but I appreciate everyone that's helped me out along the way and that listens, every week, and this wonderful industry that, welcomed me with open arms. And, it wasn't easy. And I've told this story before, but it wasn't easy to get people to, just to get, breweries for that matter. It took a little bit of time, but, there was so many, good ones out there, like, the early on, obviously Mike and then Rick over at Stereo giving me a shot. And obviously the guys over at Noble prior to them, there are different breweries now, and also Nadav, my buddy, and then honestly, man, just all the great people I've met along the way. Like I've met friends that, that I can call brothers now, and like Dario and Luis and so many great people in this industry and all the, the brew witches and all of them. And just really, just really grateful. I feel a lot of times we can, things can get taken for granted. And I just want you guys all to know that I will never do that. I appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate anyone that's been on the show, anyone that's going to be on the show. It's been a blast. It's been almost 3 years. I think it was like February 2023, February like 19th when the first episode dropped with Mike. So yeah, man, it's just, I don't know, just thinking back of it, like not trying to be all sappy and sentimental, but yeah, it's been awesome. It's been like every episode's always about the journey. And this is, the journey to get to 150. So let's see what else we got going on. The college football playoffs happened. Oklahoma blew it against Alabama. They had the Alabama dead to rights 17-0 and, started turning the ball over, started playing sloppy football, which isn't a Brett Venables kind of style, not what a Brett Venables type team does. But I mean, they're still young, so they're only going to get better. And Venables is a great coach. But I took Oklahoma on a parlay and lost that one. But yeah, I had Oklahoma. I took A&M. I took Oregon, and I took LSU. No, not LSU. Ole Miss. Sorry, got Kiffin on the brain. And I would have covered all of those games if it wasn't for Oklahoma. So that's fantastic. Yeah, but yeah, college football is going on, so they've all moved on. Looking forward to the playoffs, man. Christmas is around the corner. I'm curious about you guys, so DM me, like, what your favorite Christmas movie is. Like, mine is still probably Christmas Vacation. Like, it's probably, like, in my top 10. not top 10, like top 2, if not 1. Love A Christmas Story. Also, what's the one I've been watching a lot lately is 8-Bit Christmas. If you guys haven't seen it, it's great. NPH is in it. It's on Max. And then also The Holdovers. Like, I don't know what it is about that movie, but it gets me. I love that movie with Paul Giamatti. It's a fantastic film. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. My mom's here. Got to go to Green Cheek on Friday, Level Up yesterday for their ugly sweater party. It was a good time. It was a good time seeing everybody and, having some good beers and enjoying family. And that's what these holidays are all about. So before we jump into the episode, just, hopefully like you have family around and you can be around them or you can be around friends, because just because you're not blood doesn't mean you're not family. So yeah, that's enough sappy stuff out of me. And this intro is going a little long. So I hope you guys enjoy the interview with Cody. And again, Cody, just talking straight to you. Thank you. I appreciate it. You make some killer beer, man, and you have an awesome brewery. I love the Ohana Room. The Ohana Room's awesome. If you guys have not been to Michi Brew Co, you need to go. It's in San Marcos. It's not that far of a drive. You can make a weekend of it. They have other great breweries out there too, like Lost Abbey's right there, Doglegs right there, Weird Beer Co's right there, even Virgin's out there too. Get out there. Get out there and check it out, man. It's so awesome. And then you can go to San Diego. Just have make a weekend of it. You can go to Old Town. Get it all. Get it all, baby. All right. I'm going to shut up now. Hope you guys enjoy the interview with Cody and stay tuned for the outro. All right, guys, we're back in the Taproom, and I'm your host, Mike, and I have a very special guest on the show today. I have Cody Gagnon, Michi Brew Co, out in San Marcos. How's it going, man?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for coming on. Usually we jump right into the journey, but we have a couple beers in front of us. What are you having?
This is kind of my go-to beer if I just have, I don't know. It's one of them that I gravitate towards all the time. It's our extra pale ale.
Okay.
Mosaic, Crush Cryo, Mosaic Hyper Boost. Yeah, super soft on the water profile too. So this one turned out really nice, but yeah, very, very kind of a go-to beer.
There you
5.9.
Oh yeah, there you go. Crushable then.
Yeah.
I'm having the West Coast Pils.
Yep.
What does this come in at?
4.8%.
Oh, dang, that's nice.
Yeah, Mosaic and Citra Cryo Mosaic Hyper Boost. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I kind of lose all after a certain point when you're listing off all the hops, you're like, I think they all starts to just blend together a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's great, man.
Yeah.
Man, you have a beautiful spot here.
Thank you. Yeah, we've done a ton to just try and, make it our own after, obviously this was an existing brewery.
Mm-hmm.
So during the process, it's kind of always, it's hard to envision what it's going to look like. This place was appealing to us because it had a lot of wood aesthetics, like wood features. They have the cold boxes, the woods. And so again, it had everything that we needed to be as far as structurally sound. The brew house was very clean and organized. Cold box was clean.
Nice.
The former tenant, the Double Peak, they had Frank was an engineer.
Okay.
So everything's very structurally sound. Everything was very, easy to put together, often maintained. He'd have, a little piece of tape with when the last filter was swapped out, when the last gasket for the pump seals were swapped out. So it was really nice to come into something where I didn't have to do much organizing of the brewery. Everything was just really ready to go.
That's awesome.
Yeah, very nice. Seamless process, but seamless as it can be. It's very stressful. Seeing all the money leave your bank account. And you're like, oh, all right, let's start selling some beer now.
There you go. And what was the turnaround time for when you guys bought it to opening?
So we signed a lease in February and we opened in May.
Okay.
So 3 months time, but it was nice because like I said, we had the license applied for, we had everything lined up. So as soon as we submitted our application to transfer the ABC license, I started brewing right away.
It's awesome.
I got into a pinch, had to dump a couple batches.
Oh, man.
Never fun doing that. Hopefully it's the last 2 we have to. But
yeah,
I guess you only really get one opportunity to open.
Mm-hmm.
And, you can't settle for anything less than exactly how you pictured it in your mind.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
So not that those beers were bad or had any sort of brewing problems. It was just to the point where I was like, nah, I just didn't like it enough.
Yeah.
And again, you only get one chance of opening. So if you don't get the perception of people really liking your beers right off the get-go, it's really hard to take and get that back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So very important. But again, I'd rather learn from those mistakes. I'd rather make those mistakes than not make them at all and just kind of go with it. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
But how'd you get started in craft beer?
So I started home brewing probably when I was like 21, 22. I was doing it in college with a buddy, just kind of,
all right, there you go.
Wanting to get, drink some beers with the boys, and then just started crafting some and making some homebrews, had some, some decent ones. And then I linked up with a guy who was brewing out in Valley Center, a home brewer. He's actually the brewer over at Dogleg.
Okay.
And I brewed a couple batches with him, and then that's when I really started to see like what home brewing was like actually like. You know what I mean? When you got the pumps and you're actually recirculate, you know what I mean?
Oh,
like
yeah.
this. You can do homebrew, and then there's homebrew, right? People that are making professional quality beer on the homebrew scale.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
100%.
it's and especially now, it's pretty wild some of the stuff I've seen some people's homebrew setups. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but after I saw that, it started to really kind of invigorate my passion. And then I was working at Karl Strauss.
Oh, wow.
I ended up getting to do a couple of my own homebrew recipes on their pilot system on site at Temecula.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So after I did that, it was really cool to see people's feedback. Everyone really enjoyed the beer. It sold really, really well. So I said, okay, like this is something I could do. I finished school and really wanted to just pursue brewing full time. So finished school, got a job in the brewery field. I worked at Black Market in Temecula. And then I moved from Black Market to Mother Earth, went to Pizza Port. Then I helped open up West Brew. And then I was at Carlsbad most recently.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, I learned so much. Every single place has taught me so much. And every single place that I've been to has taught me what it took to get to this place,
Yeah.
2020 hindsight, there was always some things that I could have done differently. I interviewed at a lot of, for as many places I worked at, I probably interviewed at more,
Wow.
just because I was always trying to not necessarily jump from place to place, but if I wasn't growing or I wasn't pushing myself to be a little bit more uncomfortable and trying to find something that's going to, make me a better brewer, then I had to do that. Learned a lot since I've been just a head brewer from the time that was like 5 years ago till now. There's so much things with social media, and sometimes, and it's very sometimes can get pretty muddling in your mind of what your perception of your beer is when you're constantly looking at what everybody else is making.
Yeah.
So I think when I started out as a head brewer, I was really too focused on trying to make everyone like my beer instead of just making the beer that I like and showing how I can make beers the best of my ability. So you learn a lot through that process. You learn there's kind of just a moment of being more self-aware. I think my ego is taken out of it a little bit more. I've kind of taken my licks and heard the bad people, you hear the things that people, when they don't like your beer, you know what I mean? So you eventually get to develop a little bit more tougher skin. You can kind of like, all right, because it's such a competitive industry.
Oh, 100%.
And in this area too, it's really, really difficult to just try to make yourself known without, again, for every 8 to 10 people that like your beer, there's 2 to 3 that don't.
Yeah.
At least could be more, could be less, you know what I mean? But that's kind of how you have to roll the dice. And I'm obviously also working the tasting room probably like 5-6 days out of the week. So there's no like hiding me, you know what I mean? Like there's no running away from that when I can tell people's facial expression when they don't like a beer, you know what I mean? So, but you sacrifice a lot to get to this point, and it's in the end, you really just want to make sure that you can fully be okay with whatever they're saying, and also look at it from an unbiased perspective and say, hey, like, hey, how can I improve? Like, if you're getting comfortable with just brewing the same things and staying in your lane and not trying anything new or whatever it may be, or actually just maybe listening to criticism, with an unbiased perspective, can do a lot for how you make your beers. So, but long story short.
No, man, that's great.
Yeah.
Man, that's like, you've had like all the names you were listing, like all places I love, like just great, there's great beer. But man, that's a hell of a journey, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had a great journey along the way for sure. Met a lot of really, really cool people, have a lot of influences in how I dictated my decisions. And, I had a boss early on that kind of knew. He was just like, yeah, you're not going to be able to work in a place, for the rest of your life. You're going to have to do it for yourself. Just because he knew the kind of person that I was.
Yeah.
The one that was not okay with, maybe not so much just taking orders, but looking at it from a deeper perspective of like, hey, we could be doing this instead of this. Like this is like this isn't smart, you know. And so you're always going to run into battles when you're working with people and working for a big company, right? So I always knew that eventually I would open up my own, just because that was kind of the person I wanted to be, the one making the decisions. I want to be. It's not necessarily having control over every aspect, because I have two guys that handle the marketing. One guy does photography, Jackson and Scott, and then one guy does, website and Instagram and handling the socials. And a part of being a business owner that I enjoyed the most, I think now, is that you can empower the team that works with you and for you and the people that work around you in a better way that some leadership maybe not have done in your past. So being able to control those relationships and like actually be able to work and like empower them, where I'm not a big marketing person. I don't have any social media. I don't even have the company's social media on my phone. So I try and stay, I'm in a lot of the stuff, but it's more of because we like to do a lot of educational posts, that kind of stuff.
That's great.
So, but yeah, I think that's part of the business that I really enjoy the most, is being able to just work with the team. And, they say, hey, I may say no to this, but they're like, hey, maybe we should do this. This is why. And then I'm like, okay, let's do it. I trust you guys. That's, you guys are the ones that are the experts in this field. I don't know as much as you guys do about the marketing aspect and what you guys think the approach would be work. So if you guys believe in this, I trust you guys. I trust the work. So let's do it. So, but those are the kind of decisions that I think now are, the more fun, the more fun part of the business that like I enjoy more, is like the behind the scenes of how we can, how do we make the business successful? How do we drive in traffic here? The beers sometimes can become like my oasis, it's like that's where the passion still is. That's where I love, that's what I love to do. But I'm pulled in obviously so many different places.
Of course. Yeah.
But I think that's really where I can try and, it's a nice little break when I'm like, oh, I get to brew and just brew another beer. Let's get back to my zen almost, so to speak.
I love it, man. I love that. And I feel like you've had, like, obviously you're talking about all the places you've worked at. You probably had, there was probably so many brewers, or maybe like breweries for that matter, that just influenced you along the way. Like what are some brewers maybe that you like looked up to, or maybe still look up to, like along your whole journey?
Yeah. I've had such an impactful string of people that have influenced my journey along the way. Like just from when I started a homebrew, like one of my best friends, Jake, he was the guy that we were brewing with. And so like I would always go to his place and we would brew. And so it was kind of a hobby that we did together. We obviously always wanted to start a brewery, but he got married, had some kids early on. So like kind of wasn't that he didn't want to still do that. It was just kind of different stages of life kind of thing, but
responsibilities,
for sure.
Other responsibilities.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I think the going along the way, it's like you meet so many different breweries, and every brewery that I've worked at, I've had some good relationships and have had some bad relationships.
Yeah, of course.
Having to, deal with some maybe bosses that you didn't like that much, or whatever, whatever the circumstances may be. But I would say the most influential period of like trying to work and feeling like I was getting really, really like, would probably say when I was at Pizza Port.
Okay.
In Brezzy Ranch. I would say my boss there, Blake, he was the one that opened up Craft Coast. He's the owner of Craft Coast.
Okay.
So I think he was one of the guys that was always like, hey, I think you're going to be better off doing it by yourself. And so I would constantly ask him, I'd call him for, hey, advice about this, getting this place open whenever I had an ABC or, any kind of question. I could just text him, call him.
That's great.
Always there to help. Be very instrumental in just my career as a brewer as well. Just learned a lot from him, working under him. Pizza Port. So, and the Pizza Port lineage is huge. So there's so many great brewers and people that are still working over there now. Their director, Sean and Anna, they're just some of the brightest minds in the field, especially in this area.
Yeah.
As far as recipe development, all that kind of stuff too. So it's huge for me to be able to like gain and be a sponge in that experience. Unfortunately, I left, and not unfortunately, but I wish I could have spent more time there soaking in just a little bit more of what they had to give out as far as information, and just so. But I think I was at that point where I just needed to be head brewer, try to get my beer and my recipes out there to see really what I was made of.
Yeah.
So when I went to West Brew, it was we opened through COVID. So,
Yeah.
it's very, very difficult
Oh, I
circumstances.
bet.
And
Yeah.
under some of the most excruciating, like just existence, like psychologically, people were just in just a different state,
Oh,
right?
of
So it was
course.
so
Yeah.
hard to get a rhythm and the place. Again, it's just, we had the great idea. They were, some great people that I work with, and I learned just a lot of the business side of what it takes
Mm-hmm.
to opening a place and
Yeah.
the money going in and out, how expensive things are and what it really takes to do it. And so I think that was probably one of my most influential period of time working,
Yeah.
just learning to help open this place. Like, where are things that I need to look at? How can I be smarter with the budget and what, just what all
Mm-hmm.
that kind of entails. Cause
Yeah.
until you start breaking it down and seeing how much it actually costs to build a brewery,
Of
it's like,
course.
it's very intimidating, right?
I bet. Yeah.
So after that, I think I learned a ton just to be able to get here. I think the other brewer that I think has indirectly, well, maybe not indirectly, but he's been a close friend of mine as well. Sam Zermenio at Brewhouse. I
Okay.
worked with him at Black Market.
Nice.
Him and Tyler Potter and Kyle from South Oceanside. Tyler's at Tarantula Hill. So
Okay.
all four of us worked together at one point, which is wild to think about now
Yeah.
because where we all on our careers, like two of us own breweries, two people are head of production at their own facilities.
It's awesome.
So it's really rad to see like all of them doing well. All of that time that I spent at Black Market was a cool period of time just hanging out with those guys. So, but Sam was very instrumental just helping me. Same thing with Blake. He was just
Mm-hmm.
very sharing. Asked him about the process, what I needed to do here, how was it there. Originally, I had this idea to brew my Michi Brew Co brand when I was at
Yeah.
Carlsbad.
Okay.
So they had a distribution network that they distribute different brands of beer. So they own a distribution company. So
Okay.
I was originally going to brew my stuff there and then sell it in the distribution market,
Mm-hmm.
work it like, just kind of a way that we can get another brand on the portfolio.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So, but we were going through that process and like how it would look, the legalities to make sure everything was buttoned up. And Sam was the one that kind of suggested that because he started doing that for a little while as well. So it was just, yeah, again, just a good friend. They've always been just, I guess, mentors and friends, Every time I go to Portland, I try to visit Sam and say hi and stuff. And it's relationships that have helped me grow as a brewer.
Of course. Yeah.
Learn from them. I didn't really necessarily get to learn too much brewing side from Sam. I wish I would have. Wish I would have been able to spend more time doing that with him. But Blake makes some great beer, so learned a lot from him. And again, that I can always bounce ideas off of them and ask. And I think in the industry, it can be very hard to discern what information you hear from people is accurate and what may not be as accurate as they're saying.
Okay.
Not that they're trying to do anything, but they could be embellishing a little bit, or maybe
Yeah.
it's, maybe it's not exactly what they remembered it be. So not like I'm not trusting the source, but it's this, you have to really surround yourself with a wise counsel.
Mm-hmm.
You really have to be able to take in all the information and then how you process that and how you adjust your brewing schedule or how you adjust your dry hop or whatever it may be, whatever you're learning from someone, right? Is take it from one step or research it or just, be able to process it a little bit better. So you're not just making such rash decisions right away, right?
Yeah.
So I think, just talking with them a lot, again, they're good people. So it's, surround yourself with good people and good things will happen, right? So
Yeah. Love it, man.
yeah.
I wanted to ask you, obviously, like you've been open for about 6 months now. Because I know, like, some breweries, like, they have their, like, their identity where it's just like, oh, we want to specialize in lagers or stuff like that. Do you find, like, well, at least for Michi, like, obviously it's like tropical, ales and, lagers, stuff like that. Do you feel like, what do you feel like if you even want an identity like that, or do you want like a specific style or stuff like that, the people would identify the brewery with?
Yeah. And this one's always a tricky question.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like tricky to answer, but it's more of, kind of how you separate yourself in an area where it's predominantly already very saturated, So I think the tropical inspired ales and lagers are like kind of our sub slogan for Michi Brew Co is more of about the water.
Okay.
So when I think of tropical, I think of, water and
yeah, of course.
so there's so much water chemistry within each beer. And I think a lot of things that I've learned now is that we take a base water profile. So it goes through a carbon filter, and then it goes through a RO filter, and then a deionization, and then it goes through another carbon filter.
Okay.
So we do a serious water filtration to get our water profile to like basically 0. Total dissolved solids is probably around 10, so extremely light.
Yeah.
And then we add each minerals and salts back to each beer, just depending on the style of beer, whatever is best suited.
Okay.
So I think there is a lot of breweries that do this now. It's not as uncommon anymore, but I think the disconnect is it's not necessarily always known.
Mm-hmm.
So unless you're in the brewing field, or like, I just don't think it's a very common question people are going to go to ask. It's like, hey, do you have, like, what kind of filtration do you use for your water?
Yeah.
There's been a lot of studies and stuff coming out now that there's forever chemicals in beer, and like there's a lot of weird things. And I think what that has to do with is more of the water, maybe not necessarily getting it from a good water source, or if you're continually heating a water tank and you're using an HLT that never gets pacified and it's never cleaned and it's never CIP or constantly maintained. You're boiling minerals, you're heating up water, reheating it, cooling it down, reheating it, cooling it down. So like, we don't know, like, I couldn't tell the exact scientific breakdown of that kind of stuff, but we try to separate ourselves with just making sure we emphasize that we do this with our water. So we try to tell it to everybody that comes in.
Okay.
To make it a point. We've had people come in and say, hey, your beer, like, every time I drink beer, I get headaches. When I come in here and I have a beer I don't get a headache.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I try to explain to them the process about our water and let them know that this is what we do here. This is how we kind of separate ourselves. Wow. And so the identity, I think, for us in brewing is that we take it from a very pure stance of the water. Mm-hmm. So we do a lot of water treatment. We're trying to make sure that our water is super, super clean, adding all the salts and minerals back. And I think this is where like my beer has taken the next step. Is before I was just getting whatever water source I could from carbon filter. And again, it's not to knock anybody that does that. They can still make great beer, still make award-winning beer doing it that way. But I think at that stage of my life now where I'm like, all right, I really want to just have full control. I don't want to keep guessing and like just kind of getting batch to batch consistency or whatever it may be. So that's kind of the way we went. And we put that slogan, tropical inspired ales and lagers. And that's kind of how we've differentiated ourselves. That's like the identity of us. So we tell people we are intricate and we're thorough with how we're trying to approach each beer and the water profile that suits that style. And there's always going to be experimentations too. For example, the Mungo or extra pale ale, the first batch we did had a super high sulfate ratio to chloride. So the next time we did this beer, I was like, okay, let me bring this down. Let me switch out one of these hops. And then we did a video to like explain that to people, because I think there is also a disconnect to that sometimes in the brewery industry, that when you're brewing a batch of beer and then if you make changes, it's kind of, you don't tell people, because then it can kind of create a misconception. They're like, oh, I don't like it as much, or I like this more. Yeah. You know?
It's almost like a placebo.
Yeah. So like you're almost giving them like a fake, and they're like, oh, I can taste it now. I don't like it, this and or X, Y, and Z. But it's like, no, I'm not doing this to change the overall structure and like the complete different makeup of the beer. What I'm trying to do is explain to you where the beer was, how I think the beer should taste now, what the changes that we did, and what's the flavors that you can look for. Yeah. You kind of have to guide them along that process of giving them the educational information. So I think our identity is strong water profiles and emphasizing education, like really, really focusing on how we can explain the beers to people, how we can make this a learning thing for them too. Like, I enjoy giving an educational speech, or like, not like a speech, but like, just nerding out on this stuff. Like, I love being able to tell people about that stuff and like what makes us different, even if it's too much information. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather be thorough than, you know what I mean, and passionate about it than not, you know what I mean, not explain things. So I think that's really where our identity comes from. But as far as like styles and what kind of beers we want to brew, we've been open for now almost, November? So May, that's, what is that?
6 months.
6 months? Yeah. Feels like longer. It feels like it's been 2 years. But yeah, so for stylistically speaking, like brews that we like to beer, or beers that we like to brew, beers that we like to beer. Yeah. I think we set out to just try and find recipes that were really, really received upon well in the community. So we have right now, I think to start next year, we'll probably get 4 core-ish beers dialed in. So we'll have the rice lager, we'll have our Mexican lager, our Shasta, the West Coast IPA, and then Mungo, the extra pale ale, the one that I'm drinking. We think we can kind of get away with having those 4 mainstays because that's been like the most frequently asked for beers.
Okay.
West Coast IPA, I mean, we've done like 6 or 7 of them since we've opened almost. And each one of them is just a placeholder for the people that come in and ask for a West Coast IPA. Because it's the most predominantly thing that's in what, like 50% of the time when someone walks in, they're going to be like, I'll get the West Coast IPA. They're not even going to look at the menu. They're just going to say, I'll get that. And I was like, okay. I mean, again, get what you want. I'm not going to tell you what to order, right? And so it was more so just trying to find what recipes that really resonated with us and then the people that were here. So Shasta, the West Coast IPA, this is the second time we brewed this one. And it was easily the most unwarranted, like, complimentary beer where they're like, this is so good. You know, like, as an owner, you can kind of parse through what's forced or what's just kind of natural. And I got so many different people just coming up and saying, like, this beer is so good. So that was immediately, for me, I was like, okay, well, getting the feedback, and generally speaking, that was the one that was received the most. But of course, it was a recipe where I had too many hops in the cold box and I just needed to get rid of stuff. And I was like, I just got to use whatever's in here. I can't buy any more hops. Like, I can't justify buying any more hops right now. It's not worth it. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to, and again, still intentional with the recipe development, but it's never something I would have ever thought to like put together. Like, I would never like purposefully buy all the ingredients to that beer and be like, that's the beer I'm making. Like, it's not going to happen that way, which is how sometimes great recipes happen, right? Like and it's one of those things that I talk about all the time is like some recipes take time. Like some are not like perfect right away. And some are just instant hits and you're like, all right, cool. That one, I'm just not going to mess with that one. You know what I mean? Maybe later on down the road, but like right now it's good for now. So, but I think that's something that I enjoy doing. But yeah, those are the 4 core beers. Everything else after that kind of just rotates depending on season. We have an Imperial Porter with toasted coconut coming out soon. We have an oatmeal stout that's on right now. We got a Munich Helles that's on. We got
I love a good oatmeal stout.
Yeah, especially right now, 5%. That beer, it's funny because when we first opened, I got so many people. Like, it was weird. The first 2 weeks we opened, I got probably 2 people every day asking for a stout.
Wow.
And I was like, it's May. It's about to be June. Like, what are we talking about? And just because of so many people, I was like, is someone playing a prank on me? Like, did they go on like a Reddit thread and say, hey, go ask this guy for a stout? Like, see if he brews it?
Yeah.
And sure enough, I caved and I brewed oatmeal stout. And like, it did well. Like, people really liked that beer. But now that it's cold, everyone's like, oh, oatmeal stout. I'm like, finally.
Yeah.
I knew I shouldn't have brewed it 3 months ago.
That's crazy. But that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. Like, I know, because I want to talk about the tiki theme, but before we do that, I want to, like, because we talked about beer education and doing that sort of stuff. I feel like that's so important. And I know maybe not as many breweries do it, but I feel like it's so important for, like, you know, whoever's behind the bar, obviously, or whoever's brewing, but then also the customer, because then you can kind of build a trust with that brewery. And if, like, you know, you talking to them about, like, well, what, like, well, because sometimes people ask, like, well, there are the guys that'll just say, just give me the West Coast.
Yeah.
But then the other people are like, oh, what does it taste like? Or what's the flavor profile?
Yeah.
And when you can kind of, like, you know, guide them to, you know, to a beer that they might like, or, you know, you build that trust with the customer and they'll remember that. And then they'll want to come back and they'll tell their friends and you know, stuff like that. I feel like it's just super important.
Yeah. I think you build an authentic bond with the guest, right? Like you're giving an authentic guest experience. And I think that's so undervalued in tasting rooms nowadays. Like, you don't realize how influential the person behind the bar is with the guest experience. Because if you're not into it, if you're not asking questions, you're not describing it, if you're not giving them samples to try things, if you're not, you know, and I think that's part of what our culture is. Like, my wife's family is from Hawaii.
Okay.
So that ohana, that welcoming, like, everyone is welcome. You come in, you can come in and enjoy yourself. Like, we want everybody to feel welcome. We don't want them to feel like they are not welcome in this space. And we want to do everything we can to help them out and make them comfortable.
Okay.
My job is to make sure that when I'm serving you a beer, that I get you the beer that you want, not the beer that I think you should have. And
100%. I love that.
So you have to be able to say, hey, what kind of beers do you like? And a lot of this I learned from Carl Strauss when I was working there. I was a bartender trainer for years, so I helped open up Anaheim, and I helped open up downtown Los Angeles. So I would go and train all the bartenders on beer education, the services that you have to give them, the things that you have to say. And you'd have to be able to look at a ticket, go down, see what the beer is, not know what the people have at their food menu. So then you have to be able to take the beer and pair it with that meal without even knowing that table is yours.
Wow.
So there's a lot of flavor profiles. There's a lot of things that you have to be able to quickly do and analyze. So like as doing all that stuff, I learned really well how to find the right beer for the person. So that's super important. Giving them a sample of things to try, seeing what flavors profiles that they like, and then being able to obviously differentiate the flavors. And I think the reason why I have another guy that works here, Scott. I worked with him at West Brew, and I always do beer education when I was the head brewer with all the staff, training room staff, to like, I give them a direction sheet. Like, this is the hops, this is the malt, this is the flavor profile, this is what it tastes like, this is what it smells like, this is all the stuff you need for the beer. These are the words that you should be looking for to use to describe to the guest.
Yeah.
And Scott would always take those and really learn them, and then he would use it and he would describe the beers how I would do it as well. And like, that's really what is genuinely missed upon sometimes, is not being able to accurately give the best guest experience by because I mean, as soon as they try, say, you sample them 2 or 3 beers and they're not into those styles of beers, but the other ones that you like or that you think that they like, and they're automatically turned away because they just had 3 that they don't like that much. By the time they get to the one that they like, they're like, it's okay. Yeah. Because the other 3 were worse for them. It almost brought their perception down. Yeah. A lot of it's psychological, but again, those are things that you have to think about. So I think after opening this place and really learning from, just previous experience, it's super important to maintain the proper guest perception, to maintain that you're facilitating this experience good for them and you're actually wanting to be authentic. You're not just like, here you go. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
I love that, man.
Yeah.
That's great. We'll talk about the beer names, but so you said your wife is from Hawaii?
My wife is born in California, but her mom was born in Hawaii. All of her aunties were from there. They moved a while back to California. Well, that's where my wife's family's from, but she still has family on Oahu and Kauai right now. So I grew up in a small, I had 3 brothers and my parents, we lived in Temecula, like a small suburb of Southern California. So there wasn't as much, I wasn't really, I didn't experience culture like that, not to say that we didn't have our own traditions, but it's just different.
Yeah, of course.
So when my wife and I got married, it was a whole new experience for me as far as like meeting the family and understanding what like family dinners and these things. And like we did that stuff, but it's just the family's blending. So you're just trying to, but we took a trip to Hawaii when we first started dating and we really fell in love with just the islands and the tropical feel and the vibe and stuff. So like there was always that's where the seed was planted and like for the idea for this to come to fruition and stuff. So it's, been a long, long time.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. The reason I was asking about the Hawaii thing too, because my mom was born in Maui.
Oh, okay.
So on my mom's side, my grandma was Hawaiian, so they all lived there. But was it because you said when you met the family, was it like you're like what's spam musubi or stuff like that?
Oh yeah,
or mocha loco or any of that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big food person, so I think I was like automatically like their auntie's favorites because I would just not stop eating. You know what I mean? She's like, you should try that. I was like, yeah, absolutely, I'll try that. Let's eat some more. Like,
did they ever make you try poi?
Yeah, I'm not. I still can't behind that one. It just tastes like, it looks like a refried bean pudding.
Yeah, it's like purple toothpaste is what I always called it.
It is, yeah. But there's like lomi salmon, like there's there's some like there's spam musubis. Like we eventually want to have like a little spam musubi like station on the front with like a little warmer. You know what I mean? Just have it like when you go into Safeways in Maui and you can just grab them out of the So yeah, that's definitely on the horizon. But yeah, the food it's been a great experience just being able to dive into that culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, I'll make them occasionally. I'll make spam musubi with the family, and it's always good.
Yeah,
that would be, if you guys make that, I'm going to be down here a lot more often.
Yeah, right.
Come down as often as I can.
Yeah.
So the tiki theme, was it like, I mean, obviously now I realize because it was like the families, being from Hawaii, but is that where like all the inspiration came from, or was it,
No, I mean, the tiki theme itself we kind of fell into it. We didn't necessarily like set out to be a tiki theme brewery. We had, I don't know if you can see it over there, but the white t-shirt underneath there. It has like the 2 hibiscus flowers, the palm tree, and then the tiki in the background. That was actually our first logo.
Okay.
And so we had that before we opened. That was kind of the one that we were going to run with. And then for a little while, we got some more feedback and we were like, hey, this is a little too busy. How do we get a little bit more clear with what our brand is supposed to look like? So the second we took the tiki guy and we turned it into our current logo with the hop. He has the waves for the water, and then he has the barley on his head. So like everything had elements of the brewing in there, and this logo was much stronger and much more, I think, prominent.
Okay.
And so the logo we loved, and so then it kind of just turned into now, how it is. Excuse me. But I think what we wanted to do is create the embodiment of what the brewery logo can be, but also have different elements of stuff that's not necessarily just super tiki focus driven, like our can artwork. So like for our crowlers, we have our tiki logo, right?
Yeah.
And then for the other stuff, for our cans, we did can artwork. And then we have a small tiki above like the description. So still subtle branding, but we didn't want to just be we didn't want to be everything tiki focused, which is our logo already. So we just tried to balance it with just different branding ideas and how we can try to incorporate different stuff.
Yeah. The Shasta can art. I mean, the Akita one is beautiful too, but the Shasta one was like, that's a really badass can artwork.
Yeah, and it's been it took a while for me to figure out the artwork thing. I was really struggling with going with more of a traditional branding marketing with just the can artwork of the logo and then do a different background, and which I think has a strong brand presence in the market because then people know your beer and they can see it. So I think it definitely does. I think for our model, we're starting out small. We're a direct to consumer little pub. You know what I mean? So like we have the different aspirations here of what we want to do with the spot that we can grow into.
Yeah.
So I think for us, we're okay with, we like the fact that you can't get our beer anywhere else.
Yeah.
We really want we really want to drive you here because we can't control the guest experience that you get outside of here when you're drinking our beer, right?
Yeah, that's 100% true. Yeah.
I think creating that place and that kind of safe haven of like, oh, that's where Michi beer is. You just gotta go there to get it. So we enjoy that right now. Will it change? I'm never gonna say, no, we're never gonna sell our beer out of the market. We won't do that because I think that kind of pigeonholes you into not doing it, right?
Yeah.
But I think for now we really enjoy being a little destination spot. So
yeah, it's great, and I said, and it's beautiful too. So who's the Vikings fan?
That would be me, for better or for worse.
Okay, I'm a Packer fan. I hate the Bears more.
We would pick the weekend that we play each other too. Tomorrow. Wow, what are the odds?
I know. I almost went because it's in Green Bay, right?
Yeah,
I almost went to that game. I was supposed to go to that game, but I decided I was like, because Thanksgiving was coming up, I was like, I don't want to be only home for a couple days. So I was like, I'm gonna go the following week to go see them play the Bears.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the week after Thanksgiving.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was supposed to go. I've been flying out to a game every year since I was like probably in 5th grade.
Okay.
And my godfather's a huge Vikings fan. So he would always take us out. He'd fly us out there with him and his son.
Yeah.
And so now that we're older, I'm still doing that trip once a year with him.
That's cool.
But not this year. I'm a little preoccupied.
Yeah, a little busy
with the work. But he understands. He's owned a business for 30 years. So he's a big influence on getting this place opened as well, just from the business side and helping me coach me through all the things and stuff. And he was very encouraging for me to just say like, hey dude, he's like, if you don't do this now, you might not ever have another chance to try.
Oh, 100%.
So the opportunity was here and he was very encouraging for it. So it gave me a lot of strong just advice mentally, what it's going to do, how taxing it can become, the hours that you're working and the things and stuff. But you have to really enjoy the process. You have to really love doing it. And it's not like, because once the brewery opened, there was like this anticlimactic, like, oh, okay, like what do we do now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I've had a dream for the last, 15 years since I started homebrewing that like I would open my own spot. And a lot of people talk about that stuff. And then sometimes it does come to fruition and sometimes it doesn't. But when it did, it was very emotional. It was very raw feeling of like, wow, this is the best. And then the next day you wake up and you need to go to work and you're like, okay, like that's, but then you remind yourself that this is the journey. So like now that the business is growing and we're, we've had some success early on, it's, now how do we keep going? How do we stay uncomfortable? How do we continue to grow and push ourselves? So it's been, it's something that I enjoy the most about owning a business for sure.
That's great, man, and kudos to you for, like you said, not a lot of people are willing to make the sacrifice, but for you, like, to have the wherewithal and, like, the fortitude for that matter to want, something more in life, like, not just be, just be a brewer, which is nothing wrong with it. I mean, that's why I love talking to brewers though too, because a lot of time, even when it's just about the beer and maybe not them opening a brewery, it's always about making the beer better
Mhm.
and always challenging themselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, but, like, to be able to actually go out and make the leap or take
Yeah.
the leap, I mean, kudos to you, man.
Yeah. It's a compliment to my support system too. God, have a beautiful wife that has always been super supportive of me
It's
and
awesome.
pushed me to continue to grow. And I think that's big focus. And she's always been, like I said, very supportive of the journey. And she's an very, very important piece that works here as well, that does a lot of stuff. She has a full-time job, but she's handling all the bookings to the events and
Okay.
handling all the food vendors and doing the stuff that I just don't have time to do right now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's, we're a small team, but we're very good team. We're very strong. We communicate everything pretty well. So it's a good system to have. Family and friends have been, yeah. It was very overwhelming when I had like uncles flying out for the grand opening and
Mhm.
stuff, and
I
like
bet.
seeing family and
Yeah.
seeing friends that drove far to just spend time at the grand opening.
Of course.
It was as busy. I didn't have a chance to like really soak it in because it was insanely busy, which again, that's what you
Yeah.
want, right? You want it to
Mhm.
be super busy. But at the end of the day, it was just so much work that went into the opening that it was hard not to get emotional from that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Love that. That's so cool. Next question, next segment is called the 4-pack. First one is, what's one beer that, like, is always stocked up in your fridge or never leaves your fridge?
Ah, man. Honestly, it's Coors Banquet
Okay.
in the stubby bottles, though. I don't
Yeah.
do it in the cans.
Okay.
Only in the 12-ounce shorties.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. It's just if I my parent like it's so funny too because I literally got my entire family on my mom's side and
Mhm.
my wife's side of the family to get into Coors Banquet. So like now
Okay.
they have it at all their houses too.
Love it.
So it's
There it
like
is.
every time I go visit my parents, my dad has the fridge stocked with Coors Banquet. So I'm like, all right, let's go. Yeah, I would say that's honestly the one that I probably frequently buy the most. And
Okay.
then the stuff that's in stocked in my fridge is usually beers that other people bring me.
Okay. There
So
you go.
I'm always like, yeah. I have I'll have a different. I probably have one beer. Sometimes like they'll give me like a 4-pack if it's a mixed one, or like I'll drink 3 of them and then one of them's in there, whatever
Yeah.
it is. And so it's just a mixed allotment of whatever beers that I have from people that have given me. I don't.
Okay.
It's interesting. I should buy more beer from people, but I don't leave these 4 walls very
Yeah.
often, so it's hard for me to get out. And when I do, I'm always drinking it on site. Like I'm having a couple beers there. You know what I mean? Not necessarily buying beers to go, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
That's understandable.
yeah,
So next one, if you weren't in beer, what would you be doing? And it could be something you dreamed of as a kid too.
yeah, yeah. I know. I thought about this one too when I was reading over the questions. I would probably be doing something with computers, maybe
Okay.
computer engineering. I really liked doing computer stuff. Like when I was a kid, me and my dad would build the computers and like
Oh, awesome.
so we'd buy like the tower, and then we'd buy the motherboard and the video
Mhm.
cards, and like we'd put them all in there and stuff. And so it was kind of a cool thing to do. And
That's awesome.
now working at a brewery and you work with electronics and stuff, and you're wiring pumps and you're doing
Mhm.
things in the VFDs and stuff. So it's like I feel like either an electrician or like something with computers
Okay.
could definitely get into that, or a vet. I love animals too, so I could probably do something like that.
Okay.
But
Awesome.
yeah.
All right. Third question, the 4-pack is, you get to collab with any brewery in the world. Who is it and what style would you want to make?
Damn. This one I've literally been
Racking your brain.
dude, there's so many ways I can go with this, and it's so hard for me to just pick one.
Yeah.
And like let alone just like a style. It's like, oh man, like what would it, Yeah. I get asked this one a lot as far as just like collaborations too. Like, oh, when are you doing collaborations? And that's also the thing
Mhm.
that I'm still struggling with because I really enjoy just myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I've worked with so many people that have to do something what everybody else says at
Yeah.
a certain point that I was just kind of like, man,
Yeah.
let me just do this. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's so tough. I think, yeah, probably, man,
That's a tough question.
it is really, it's so hard, dude. Oh, man. I think Ken Grossman from Sierra would be cool.
Oh, yeah.
I think awesome. I just would like to hear a story from him.
Yeah.
It just seems like a genuine guy as well. I've never met him before, but like, for as far as a staple, I think Sierra Nevada Pale was probably one of my favorite beers when I was younger. It still is to this day. It's still like, it's crazy how that beer is still the way it is, but people still drink it.
Yeah.
It's, you know what I mean? Like it's stood the test of time and like so many different beer trends that it's like, it's crazy how that beer is still just, everyone loved, like it's just a staple. Yeah, it really is. That one for sure. Yeah, beer we would make, I don't know, probably a lager. I really love making lager beers.
All right.
If I could, I would have 6 ales and 6 lagers on at all times.
Yeah.
But I can't because it's impossible.
Yeah.
It's, for us, we have so many, our lager beers go through, they just sell so fast that it's, for the system that I have back there, it's, it would be very, very hard for me to be able to time and get like 6 lagers on at the exact same time. Like I can barely get 3 on at the same time.
Yeah.
Just because of tap space, tap handles. We only have 12 taps. So I would much rather have a list of things that are fresh all the time than have a list of 24 beers and stuff's just getting old.
Yeah.
So it's kind of how we've operated, at least for now. So, yeah.
All right. Last question on the 4-pack is, what's a guilty pleasure you secretly or not so secretly love?
Man. It's another good one. Guilty pleasure. I mean, for sure, fantasy football.
Okay.
It's not so guilty though. I mean, it's not like, I definitely like my sweets, but fantasy football is probably the only thing that I really like. I can wrap my head around right now.
Okay.
Because I work Sundays here.
Yeah.
So we're open for football at 10. So like I have a decent little crew that comes in the morning. So like, we get people throughout the day. So it's usually just sprinkled with people that are watching football, and then they're coming and talking to me about their fantasy teams, and I'm talking to them about my fantasy teams and the lineups and stuff. So guilty pleasure for sure. Fantasy football. It's addicting. That's for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's tough, man. I started off the season 5-0.
Oh yeah.
And then now I'm 6-5.
Oh man, that's the worst.
And like 4 of those 5 losses, I've lost by a combined 10 points.
Oh man.
And had injuries in every one of those games that probably would have helped me win every single one of those games.
Yeah, the injuries has been wild this year.
It's been rough.
I just lost J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
I lost Tyreek this year. Lost him. I lost Omarion Hampton. I'm like, bro, my team is
decimated by injuries. Yeah.
It's been bad.
Oh, man. Should we grab another beer?
Yeah, I could do another one.
All right, sweet. All right, we're back. I got rid of the Shasta, which, like I said, I know I mentioned the can art already, but it's freaking awesome. And the beer's delicious.
Thank you.
Both of them are so good. Well, actually, so what are some of your favorite hops you love to, like, do you have like a favorite, or like, maybe a few of them? I know it's a loaded question because there's so many good ones out there.
Yeah, I would probably say I land like versus the Citra versus Mosaic debate. I probably land on the Citra side. So I'm probably Team Citra. I do like Mosaic. Still a very good hop. I use it all the time. But I think I can do a little, I like, for my flavor profiles, I like to pinpoint probably more of the citrus side.
Okay.
Which is weird though, because I use Mosaic more in beers. So
yeah,
I think the West Coast IPA for Mosaic, it just has a little bit, it's very versatile. So you can get a little bit of elements that you need for both sides of the coin, flavorful and kind of dank, you know what I mean? Yeah, I love Citra, I love Nelson, but I'm very, very particular about the crop of Nelson that I use. I know some people really, really like that diesel characteristic, that really, like almost like terpene, resiny kind of
danky.
Yeah, it's just like it's literally like sour diesel, like so. Can also be kind of slightly vegetal when overused sometimes too. So like it's a very fine line. I like to lean on my side of the Nelson, where it's more of like the wine grape, the gooseberry, like the very fruit forward side. So typically when I'm using Nelson, I'm only using it as a knockout addition.
Okay.
So I don't use it in post-firm dry hops. I don't use it in the boil kettle or whirlpool. I only use it in literally when I'm knocking out, I throw the hops in.
Okay.
I just like the biotransformation that I've gotten from that.
Yeah.
I think it pinpoints the flavor. I think it gives it enough vigorous fermentation while it's in there that it kind of eats away at some of the stuff that I'm not looking for in the finished product. So that's just, I mean, again, that's just that's another particular thing that I'm just kind of weird about, like as I've just used the hops so many different times, that's kind of just the way I like to use them.
Okay.
Love Simcoe Cryo and Simcoe, big Simcoe guy as well. Motueka I use in a lot of different styles. I use it in my Mexican lager, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I use Motueka. I mean, a lot of people add salt and lime. I think you can get lime from Motueka very well.
Yeah.
So I use that in my Mexican lager, and that's
Love it.
what I've been using. Yeah, but just a few. I haven't really, I use a lot of the Hyper Boost products. I use a different amount of that stuff, but yeah, I think varietals, as far as that goes, definitely Citra, Simcoe, Nelson, for sure. Those are probably some of my favorites.
Okay, love it. No, it's like that was called like the Avengers.
Yeah, right?
Like all the big names.
Yeah.
Oh, they're always good. Like I think the first time I ever like really got like the taste of Mosaic was like way back like St. Archer.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they did the Mosaic IPA, and I was like, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mosaic, and then Carl Strauss did the Mosaic session or the Mosaic Pale Ale. And I remember that beer when it came out, and that was also because that was like, I think some of the first years that Mosaic actually had a name. It was like, oh, it's not HBC, whatever. It's, it's Mosaic now. And so I think when that first came out, it was just it was insanely like blueberry heavy, which I think is, I really, really like that from the Mosaic, but it's not as common anymore.
Yeah.
It's definitely not as blueberry heavy as it used to be, but
okay.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, next one is a memorable brew day. It could be just a long brew day, or a long bad brew day, or just a great brew day you've had throughout your career.
I think, I would say my favorite, most memorable brew day. That's an interesting one. I would say the most memorable would probably be when I got to brew a batch with Paul Segura from Carl Strauss over at at the original pub in downtown. As a program, you got like Carl points, and you could use it to and so I was brewing, and one of the girls that I worked with, she signed me up for that using her points. So she's like, hey, I want you to go do this. And I was like, it would be good for you. And I was like, I appreciate you doing that. So it was cool to go down there and just brew on the old system with someone that's been in the industry for the last, 30 years or whatever it is. So yeah, it was a very, very cool. And even then, when I was brewing the beer with Paul, he could tell like the way I would look at things, and like underneath, he's like, you're going to want to open your own brewery, huh? Like that's just the way you look at stuff. You're not just looking at like the system. You're looking at where the plumbing's going and where the walls are and how much headspace you have and stuff. So yeah, so it was a very cool experience. And again, I think eventually I'd love to brew a beer with Paul here, just, complete that full circle moment of like, hey, and I've taken a class with Paul, and I've gotten to at least spend some time with him over the last few years. So it's been a cool experience.
Love that. That's awesome. That's a really cool story.
Yeah.
This one's, you may not have like as many hangovers as maybe we did when we were younger, but what was your hangover gear?
Oh, man. Probably In-N-Out.
Okay.
Yeah. As greasy as food as possible, but even though it's not that greasy, it's like still kind of healthy enough for you to not feel super terrible.
Yeah.
But one of my coworkers swore by like a hot Cheeto burrito.
Oh, wow. All right.
And I'll tell you, it doesn't work. So just whatever you do, if you have a hangover, don't let your friend convince you it's a hot Cheeto burrito from Los Primos, because that's not going to end up well.
Yeah, because that sounds like it's just going to make it worse.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's going to make that stomach turn.
Definitely did. Definitely did not have the effect I was hoping for.
Oh, yeah. That sounds rough. Next was Taproom tunes. What do you listen to while you're brewing? Or maybe it could be like a podcast you listen to or anything like that.
I'm a big podcast guy, so I definitely frequent all my sports podcasts. So I do a couple of Vikings podcasts that I listen to. I definitely listen to a lot of like my sermon podcasts from church. I frequent that stuff a lot too. I definitely enjoy listening to that. I prioritize that a lot. As far as music goes, it's always a different. Usually I'll throw on like a radio station on Spotify.
Okay.
So definitely love a Steely Dan playlist, like yacht rock and stuff. Always a good one. I'm a big Tribe Called Quest fan, so I do Tribe Called Quest radio because it's got MF Doom. It's got, all those early rap stuff. I'm more of like, I like that kind of hip hop. I'm not a big new age hip hop guy. I don't really follow it's weird how like 10 years ago I was always about what's the new song, and like now
Yeah.
I'm like, what's the stuff that hasn't been out for a while? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's so big Tribe Called Quest guy. And I do love metal too, so I'll do like some August Burns Red.
Ooh,
I'll do
yeah.
Killswitch Engage. So
Okay.
yeah, definitely just like recycling through some of the stuff that I used to listen to a lot too. But yeah, I have a record player at home, so I'm a big music guy. So I listen to just about a little bit of everything.
Okay.
So I'll mix in a whole bunch of different new age stuff, old stuff, whatever I can get my hands on. But yeah, it's generally speaking, of a big variety. I don't really listen to the same thing very often.
That's
So
cool.
yeah.
August Burns, as I have some of their songs on my, like, when you had to download like 99 cents for a song or whatever.
Yeah.
Was like Mariana's Trench one of them?
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I listen to that album so much when
Yeah.
I'm it's weirdly enough, it's usually the album that I put on in my earbuds when I'm closing and mopping, because it's just like
Okay.
it keeps me moving, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Some heavy metal, right?
Oh, yeah. That one, like Parkway Drive, I used to listen to a
Yep.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite song is like probably Carry On.
Yep.
Yeah. That's such a good song.
Good song.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, next question is, you can have have a pint with any historical figure. It could be someone in sports, celebrity, or any historical figure.
Any historical figure, dang, that's crazy. If I could have a beer with any historical figure, man. I don't know why my brain always just goes to like someone like famously political, like former president. I don't know why
Yeah.
my brain goes there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think of someone super uber famous that was like, oh, who was this guy? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's always someone like that. But man, they can still be alive.
Yeah.
I would say Bill Murray.
Oh, that's cool.
I feel like that's just like a good one because
Yeah.
he's gonna tell you an insane story about something really cool,
Mhm.
or just have so much life
Yeah.
stories. I feel like we have a regular that comes in. His name's Bernie, but he's a retired military vet, like
Okay.
went to the war and like seen so many different things, but like they have just so much stories and like life experiences and things that they've been through, like at an age that I'm not familiar with. So like,
yeah, of course.
I love chatting with him, love hearing all the stuff that he says. And so like, I feel like it's just, it's just a great tool for just learning and like listening, you know?
Yeah, and it's great because it gets stuff that you'll always remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just have such a strong life story. You know what I mean? So their testimony is great.
Yeah, and their perspective and like, stuff that they went through and all that sort of stuff. That's why even like for this show, I just love hearing people's stories. Like how they got started and, they're all doing something that they love.
For sure.
And if that motivates one person to get out there and try something different instead of just being so content with being not liking your job or not liking where your life's at right now, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I love it. Next one, I know this is probably going to be tough, but your Mount Rushmore breweries.
Man. So was that 4?
Yeah.
4 of them? That's so hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess to no surprise, I'd probably put they're all going to be California breweries just because,
I get you.
It's hard for me to like, I want to put Boston Beer Company in there because my dad's from Boston, but I'm not, I don't know. It's just a California born and raised. So it's really hard for me to pick something outside of California, but
yeah, man.
A Russian River for sure.
Oh yeah.
You can't start a Mount Rushmore without them. And they also started in Temecula.
Okay.
So it's kind of a cool, that hits close to home. That's where I'm from. So yeah, for sure there. Probably Carl Strauss, just because it's had such an impact on me as a brewer too.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Sierra Nevada for sure. It's hard to compete with what they're doing. Number 4, man.
That's a great top 3 though. I mean, first 3 though.
Yeah. I mean, I'd probably, it's so tough. It's like, because Mount Rushmore is not just about making the best beer. It's about how your brands have like stood the test of time and like how they've been successful for so many years and like how they're still doing it and how they're still growing. So like part of me just being from San Diego County I want to put Pizza Port just because I work there. I'm a firm believer in the product that they make. I'm a firm believer in the people that work there and the system that they have. And Gina, the owner, is a great person. So, and just the people that they take care of the people that work there. So it's hard for me to, So I think that's a good I think that's a good solid 4. I would love to put like a newer brewery. Like if you ask me what's my 4 new favorite breweries, different conversation. You know what I mean? But the Mount Rushmore, I would say like, those are like my That's my field goal post I set. So
Okay.
that's what I would have put.
Now I'm curious what the 4 new ones that you like.
Oh man.
Sorry.
Yeah. How much time you got?
Yeah,
No.
plenty of time. Plenty of time.
My 4 new breweries right now. I mean, I love Brewhouse for sure. Sam's killing it out in Portland. He's not that new, but he's crushing it. Super big fan of his and his beers. Dang, I had this one down too. I guess new breweries would be just essentially breweries that aren't like the old breweries.
Yeah.
Right? So within the last 5-10 years.
Yeah.
Craft Coast for sure. Yeah. They make great beer. Award-winning beer. Blake's a great brewer.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let's see. I definitely like Highland Park.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to go wrong.
Everything they make is great.
Everything they make is great. They're one of the originators of using just 3470 as like a traditional house yeast strain for all their beers. So like, I thought that was huge for just fermentation in general, just being able to break that barrier of using that yeast for ales and clean beers too. So that was crazy. And then North Park, you know, they're just good people. Kelby's a good guy. He's very humble, so very modest and just a very well-rounded brewer, just insanely smart.
Yeah.
Super, super smart. I've only met him like once or twice, but just from the conversations that I've had, the product and the intention that he has is very apparent in the product that he makes too. So,
yeah. Kelsey, like, he's a guy that I've always wanted to have on. He's like a white whale.
Yeah, right?
It's like one day it'll happen.
One day it'll happen. Yes.
2 more things. One of them is, the second to last is, if you can bring back something from when you were a kid that isn't around anymore, what would it be?
The Razor scooter.
Okay.
I don't even know. They might have them still. I don't know.
I'm sure they probably still
They
make
do,
it.
but they're not the same.
Yeah.
They're way too, I remember when I was doing like, you know, tail spins and whatever it was. And like, if you hit your shin on it, it wouldn't hurt as bad. You know what I mean? Because now it's like, now you try and do it, they're just titanium and it's just going to break your leg or something. But yeah.
Dang, okay. Yeah, I haven't thought about the Razor scooter in a long time.
Yeah.
Last question. And this always comes from Daniel Drennan from Beer Paper. If you had to describe yourself in one word, what would it be?
That's a great question. Was this on the notes? Did you say that? Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Probably the very last question that I didn't get through because I was too busy figuring out the other 12.
You got it, yeah.
Man, if I could describe myself as one word, what would it be? Genuine.
Okay. I could see that.
I don't want to appear to be anything that I'm not, and I don't want to display emotions that I don't feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want for you to get the perception that I'm somebody that I'm not.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to be the same person that I am in front of everybody else. And I think that as long as I'm authentic and being who I am, if I don't like you or if I don't, if there's something wrong, I'm going to address it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to speak it,
That's great.
I think in this industry, I love the industry and I love the people that are in it, but there is a lot of, disingenuous,
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that are said behind closed doors or said about your beer behind things and whatever, what have you.
Yeah.
So love is underrated,
Yeah.
So I think being a passionate person and just knowing that like, hey, if you don't like that beer, it's just a different style. You don't got to say that you don't like it. You know, you don't got to be negative or hate on it. And so I think that's something that I want to lean in more and just be supportive as possible, being complimentary as possible to everybody, just to lift everybody up. We don't need to be, I know it's a competition, so it's an interesting one. We all want to strive to make the best beer.
Of course.
So we all might say that we like it and then, tell somebody else that we don't like it,
Yeah. And what's the point?
Yeah.
In that, like, because I feel the same way. Like, who I am is who I'm. Like, the guy talking to you is the same guy that I would talk with anybody.
Yeah.
Or like, or if I meet somebody or anything like that. What's the point in pretending you like something or pretending you could do something? Because then, eventually it's going to come out.
For sure.
Yeah. Someone's going to say like, because this industry is so tight knit too. That like you'll hear about it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it helps me as a brewer too. Like if you're not concerned with what everyone else is doing, what everyone else is saying, that's why I don't have social media and I don't see what everybody else is brewing. I don't see the other things that they're trying because like I don't want that to influence me and the decisions that I make.
Oh yeah.
And whether we want to say that we do or not, subliminally, psychologically, when you read these things or you see these things, you can say like, oh, well, as a business owner, why don't I have as many followers? Why are they busy on that day? Why are they busy on this day? Why are we not doing this? Why are we not brewing these beers? Well, they brewed this, should we brew this? It's like, using that as you can learn from people, but at the same time, it's like you should be confident enough in yourself and your ability to be able to execute the game plan that you think is best suited for you, because the context of your situation is different than everyone else's.
100%.
How you're doing your business and the backbone and what you're doing and how you mitigate every single problem is different. So like, not everything is going to work for everybody else like it worked for you. So like, you can help, you can say what you want, you can do what you want, but being able to be genuine and authentic with that, it helps. It helps by being not socially, maybe not socially influenced, right? So, and I think that's helped us, and I think it's helped me to like clear my headspace of distraction. Excuse me, of just unwarranted distractions. Social media for me is just a distraction. So, and it's also just a way for my brain to get in the way of what I need to do for myself. So, how I can help clear the headspace and think as clearly as I can, I think that's just the best way to go.
Couldn't have said it better, man.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I mean, like I was going to add something, but I was like, Dad, don't need to. Like, that was great. Yeah, but just be yourself. Like, no matter what, just be genuine, be yourself, and just be good. Like, there's so many people out there that just want to be negative about everything.
Yeah. I mean, especially the times that we live in, it's hard to think about certain things without like jumping to a judgmental narrative or your mind always wants to go to a negative narrative about everything. So like, how do you rewire those neurological pathways in your brain to like shift your thinking of not doing that? It starts with cutting out distractions. It starts with, making the intentional decision in your brain to like, all right, just don't do that. Like, don't judge, change your mind, just whatever you got to do to revert to another path. Like it's better for yourself. And I think that also helps with putting yourself in uncomfortable situations and trying to really grow as a person too. So
I've had people reach out to me like, oh, like, why aren't you more controversial on this? I was like, I didn't fucking start this thing to fucking be controversial.
Yeah.
I started this thing because I wanted to support the industry and I wanted to support the people, that are putting out an amazing product. A lot of times people just walk up, they see the beer being poured, they don't know what all goes into it.
Yeah.
So like, I don't need to be controversial. I just want to hear people had a dream to want to be a brewer or, to do that. So like, I want to hear that. And like I said, if it motivates one person to do something else that they love,
for sure, then
that's it.
Yeah.
Well, man, like, I really appreciate you letting me come down and have a beer with you, man, and hear your story.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's been fun. We've covered a lot of stuff, but thank you for having me on. This has been fun. I'm always a big fan of just being able to sit down and chat about the story. Like I said, it's growing and it's changing, and we're moving and grooving over here. But if anyone's in the San Marcos area, just come on by and say what's up. I'll probably be working behind the bar, so feel free to ask me questions about everything. I'm an open book when it comes to brewing. So
and it's such a great area for beer too, like with San Marcos, Vista, Carlsbad, everything all around. Within 10, 15 minutes. There's so many great places to come. But you guys definitely got to come down here. To Michi Brew Co. It's off of Melrose and Diamond in San Marcos. Like I said, I had the West Coast Pills. I'm having the Shasta right now. And I'm probably going to do a tester of the oatmeal stout because I love oatmeal stouts, but I don't know if I want a full one. It's not even noon yet. But I'm really appreciative. Thank you guys. And thank you, and for letting me to come down here and hear your story, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Cheers.
Cheers. All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Like I said, it was just fun. Like, it was just such an easy conversation. And, like, I was amazed, like, when he was just listing off all the breweries that he worked at. And I just, man, that's the dream. Like, it's so cool. Like, and now he's doing what he loves, and he's, making a phenomenal beer, and, built out a phenomenal brew, and they had a great business plan. And like, the design of everything as well, like, and what the tikis and all that means. It was just a really cool story. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Next week's episode is the big one out of Kansas, Boulevard Brewing with Quinn. I'm literally looking forward to you guys hearing that. That was a fun one as well. I mean, I love going to Kansas, love seeing my mom out there. And, the more I go, the more I can get some more breweries. So, all right, well, I'm about to go make some. I got the chilies in the what's it called, in the pot boiling. Got some, all that going. I'm going to make some chilaquiles right now because I'm hungry. And I hope you guys have a great Sunday. I hope you have a great week, and Merry Christmas. I hope, and, or happy Hanukkah, whatever you're celebrating. Just, be good out there, man. Be good people. That's all we really can do. If we can do that, this place will be a little bit better. Yeah. I'm looking forward to Christmas. My Christmas tradition, or one of them, is I wake up early on Christmas morning. I'll make breakfast for everybody, and then we'll start popping some mimosas and watching Garfield Christmas, and then, it's always Garfield Christmas first, and then Christmas Vacation. And if you guys haven't seen Garfield Christmas, I'm pretty sure it's on Prime. So, everybody has Prime. Watch Garfield Christmas. It's a really cool, I've been watching it since I was a little guy. So a couple of my friends would probably still say I am a little guy, but yeah. All right. But like I said, hope you guys have a great Christmas, or, whatever you guys celebrate. Happy holidays and all that jazz. Just enjoy time with your family. Enjoy some good craft beer. And you know what? Dry January is coming, and fuck that month. So there you go. Sorry I had to say it. But, get out there and support, during January. I know, people like to do that. They have their New Year's resolutions and all that stuff, and all that's fine. But get out there and support. Even, if they have a food truck that day, go over there and eat. You don't have to necessarily drink. It'd be great if you did, but, get in the brewery, buy some 4-packs, buy some merch, do anything you can to support, because it's a tough time in the industry. So, and we're already kind of in some tough times right now. So, get out there and support, guys. All right. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got. So yeah, just don't forget to support local, drink local, and find your beer. Twinkle, twinkle, baby.